What's happening, guys? Welcome back to Table Talk. I'm Andrew, and we are a board game channel that talks about what board games you should be bringing to your table. Today, we are talking about couples games. You got that boo, you got that bae, you got maybe just a really good friend that just the two of you play board games. Well, here are some suggestions for you in a top 10. Let's get to that list. My honorable mention is escape room games. Any game where it's like escape room in a box, escape experiment, adventure, escaping palooza, whatever. Get it. Because it brings that experience of an escape room to a box way more affordably than actually going to an escape room. Yes, it's not as cool as actually being an escape room, but way more affordable, and you can play it anywhere. Me and my wife play them almost all the time. We can do it anywhere, and it's just a great experience. Hour, 2 hours, huge sense of accomplishment working together. Escape room games, honorable mention. My number 10, similar to escape room games, I think any sort of mystery crime-solving game is great for two players. You bounce ideas off of each other, and you both can have some control over what you choose to do, and that is Chronicles of Crime. It takes a mystery and you use your phone to scan cards and mats of locations and characters you go to and talk to. And you try to solve this mystery, and it's great because you get to talk theories and work together to say, all right, who do we want to scan next? What do we want to ask them about? What location we want to go to? How do we want to use our time? And it's always great getting to the end and knowing you solved the mystery. That is my number 10, Chronicles of Crime. My number 9 is a little weirder of a pick, but it is called Dice Forge. Now, Dice Forge is this game where you are building up a pair of dice. So you actually get to take off the die faces and get the numbers higher, get the resources you get from it higher and higher and higher. So by the end of the game, it's so satisfying as you have like this ultimate dice that's getting you all this stuff, and you're accomplishing all of these cards. And it's a great two-player experience because it's super quick back and forth. You both get this sense of accomplishment of building up a dice. You can do different strategies, and there's variety of you can put out different accomplishments to go for. It is a great game. Me and my wife play all the time. Number 9, Dice Forge. My number 8 game is similar to Dice Forge, but instead of building up a pair of dice, you are building up a bag of chips, and it is called Quacks of Quedlinburg. Kind of sounds dumb, kind of looks dumb, but it's dope because it is this sense of gambling as you pull out these chips and you're trying to get further and further along this track of a cauldron, and certain chips have certain abilities. So it's cool because as you go along, your chip gets more and more powerful abilities in your bag, and you just have this awesome bag. But then there are certain chips that are going to make you blow up and stop going forward. And now you have to press and see how far can I go along without blowing up. And that's what makes it an awesome game. Once again, like Dice Forge with just two players, it's a quick back and forth. You can go for different strategies, different types of chips. Me and my wife love it. That is Quacks of Quedlinburg. But number 7 is unique, and that is a trading game for just two players, and that is called Jaipur. Jaipur is this card game. You have resources you're trying to get in like Arabian Bazaar, and you got like camels and jewels, and back and forth you're trading and figuring out how much do I want to give up my opponent and how much do I want to keep. And it's that tension, that back and forth where it is competitive, and you are in some ways helping and screwing over your opponent, but it's not directly confrontational. It's a great middle ground and a great game for two. That is Jaipur. And number 6 is literally any good light strategy cooperative game. Cooperative games are great for two players because it brings that sense of cooperation. You each get to do stuff, you each get to come up with strategies, and there are a lot of good ones out there for whatever theme you may like. I know there's a Jaws one, there's one for Back to the Future, there's one called Horrified, which is about catching the universal monsters. I like one called Marvel United, where you're Marvel's superheroes. But I just love that dynamic with two people of you both going about accomplishing, trying to take down the game itself, the villain itself, rather than each other. And it's a unique experience. I don't think a lot of people have experienced a board game, and great for a couple. Number 5 is really any deck building game in general, similar to the dice building and the pool building or bag building of Quacks and Dice Forge. You're building up a deck. And what's awesome about two players, if you just play two players in these types of games, it's super quick back and forth. Clank is a good one, but me and my wife have really gotten into Hogwarts Battle, a deck building adventure. And what's awesome about this is you're building back and forth with the Harry Potter characters. You got frickin' Dobby, Hagrid, and you're throwing stuff at Voldemort, and you get to actually play along with the books or the movies as you go along, unlocking more characters and abilities as the villains get more and more difficult. Really fun Hogwarts battle, a deck building adventure. My number 4 is a classic game made by the same guy that made Ticket to Ride. Super similar in that it is really easy to play. It's called 10 Days in the USA. And it's a really fun game. You're just trying to connect states or connect routes to try to get a road trip that continuously connects going all around the country. It is a great casual game. It could take like 20 minutes just back and forth. Great for a couple. That is 10 Days in the USA. My number 3 is a game me and my wife got addicted to playing it online when we were dating long distance. And it's called Lost Cities. And this game, you're going on adventures, trying to go on these adventuring trips. And it really just a row of cards. And you're trying to start each row, but be able to go further enough along of it with enough points that it's actually beneficial to you long term. But the problem is throughout it, you're going to play cards and discard cards, and you're going to debate, what do I discard that my opponent can actually pick up? And it's this constant tension of how much do I help my opponent, what all do they need, that makes Lost Cities like any other. And it makes it a great couple game. That's Lost. Number 2 is really any sort of trick-taking game like Hearts, like Euchre, like Bourrée, where you just follow suit. And these type of games you can play anywhere. Me and my wife will play them at a bar or a table waiting for a meal. And we like Skull King for the competitive vibe and the Crew for cooperative. Skull King, you're placing bets. How many tricks am I going to win? So even if you get a bad hand, you can still do good. And the Crew is this cooperative of we're trying to accomplish missions, getting certain tricks and certain cards in certain ways. And it is a real fun sense of accomplishment when you two beat a mission. That is the Crew or Skull King. Really any sort of trick-taking game, my number 2. Before I get to my number 1, I want to thank you guys for watching, and it's just incredible that any of you guys watch or listen, and I just love your guys' comments. Let me know any video you'd be interested in the future. And with all that being said, let's get to my number 1. My number 1 is the Exit or Unlock games. These are escape room games in a box, which, as you might remember, was my honorable mention, but these are the best in the business. Exit games you have to destroy, but in my opinion, they have the best puzzles ever. Unlock, I think, is the best of games that you can replay in this style, and both of them give this experience of solving an adventure, a mystery, a puzzle with your partner that just makes it a great time. Unlock or Exit, my number 1. And with all that being said, I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side.